I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Pac-Man is, and most of you know who Casey Munchkin is, but are you familiar with Munch Man? Munch Man was released exclusively for the TI-99 4A in 1982 for a retail price of $39.95. As you can see, there's a few differences between this game and Pac-Man. The background is white instead of black, and instead of eating dots, Munch Man is trying to link a big chain together. The prototype of Munch Man was made a year before and had dots and power pellets similar to Pac-Man. Since the prototype version was very similar to Pac-Man, they changed the dots to chains and the power pellets to Texas Instruments logos to avoid lawsuits, which was probably a good idea since Atari won their lawsuit against Philips for Casey Munchkin in 1982, causing Philips to stop production of Casey Munchkin. So even though the dots and power pellets were removed from the game, they decided to keep the Munch Man name, even though you're not really munching on anything besides the enemies after you eat one of the Texas Instruments logos. The enemies are called Hoonos. They look different in every level up to level 20, and then they repeat. The Hoonos also get faster every level as well. The red Hoono is the most intelligent, and the yellow Hoono is the least intelligent, but can disappear for short amounts of time, so every now and then you'll run right into them. This game keeps going until you run out of life, so the goals are, of course, to beat as many levels as you can by filling up the mazes with chains and getting the highest score that you can. For every link of the chain Munch Man lays down, you get 10 points, and you get 70 points for eating the Texas Instruments symbols. 100 points are given for the first Hoono munched, 200 for the second, 400 for the third, and 800 for the fourth. When you eat all 4 Hoonos, they all sit in the center for a little while, which is nice since it gives you some time with the maze without them. I noticed that when they come out of the center, they tend to come at you even more, so it's best to stay as far away from the center of the maze as you can get before they come out. So munching the Hoonos will give you the most points, and it's important to get the most points since you get an extra life every 10,000 points. The maze stays the same but changes colors every so often, and every 20 levels you get to play an invisible maze. The controls on this game are nice and responsive, even when using the horrible TI-99 4A's controllers. You can also use the keyboard to control Munch Man, but I personally have had trouble getting used to the keyboard since the button layout is different on the 99 4A's 48 key keyboard than that of a standard 101 key keyboard or a 104 key Windows keyboard. I think the sounds are pretty good in this game. The only thing that I didn't like is that there's no sound when Munch Man goes back over the parts of the maze where he has already laid down some chain. It just seems like there should have been some sort of constant background sound. Overall, I think Munch Man is a great game for the TI-99 4A. I like how there's little things that make the game more enjoyable, like the positive messages that appear in the center of the maze every time you beat a level. If you have a TI-99 4A, then you should for sure get yourself a copy since it's clearly one of the best games on the system. The homos? I guess that kind of makes sense though, but Munch Man going after the homos.